friends, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you are new. It's spring decorating time again, and this week we are in the living room. There's going to be lots of styling, some foraging and a trip to the cut flower bed. I love cozy rustic neutrals on a budget, and my ideas can be used all year round through all of the seasons, so I hope you'll find lots of inspiration here. Now if this is your vibe, then this video and indeed this channel are for you, so let's get into it. I've taken out all the old styling and given the room a really good clean. This is very much our evening winter sitting room because it's on the north side of the house, so it's quite a dark room, but it's a cozy room. I'm going to start with the sofas, and first of all I've removed the old fur throw that we normally have on here and replaced with this lightweight blanket. The brown cushions here were originally grey, but because they're made of wool I was able to dye them, and I'm loving chocolate brown at the moment. I like to pile on the cushions, making sure that there's lots of texture there, lots of different materials, creating a lovely cozy feel at any time of the year. Onto the other sofa now, and I'm going to do pretty much the same design. These sofas have been with me for many years. They were both originally Laura Ashley, and I just keep on getting them reupholstered. Now before we get to the next stage, I think we need to pop outside and have a little bit of forage. The cherry blossom is in full bloom, but I'm not going to pick that because the petals will go everywhere. I have some hazel growing over the pear tree blocking light, so I think I'm going to take off some lengths of that. I tend to take clippings from areas that I'm going to be cutting back anyway. And if I can use fresh, then all the better. I'm not averse to using faux, that's absolutely fine, but I live in a rural location, I've got land, why would I not utilise this? Now I'm quite happy with these few stems, so let's get them back into the house and into water. They're quite big and bushy, so I think they're going to be ideal tucked away in this corner in front of the bookcase. I'll just keep topping it up with water and they'll live here quite happily for I think quite a long time. Now back outside to the cut flower bed. This is my first year with a cut flower bed, and I've started off putting tulip bulbs in and narcissus. In a few weeks I'll lift the bulbs out, transplant them elsewhere in the garden, and then I'll start with my seeds, growing cut flowers. I'm picking Narcissus Silver Chimes, and the scent is absolutely glorious, so they're really going to lift the mood in that room and make it smell like spring. My basket is a small log basket, but it's ideal for cut flowers. Now while I'm here, I'm going to cut some tulips as well, and I'm going to go with Tulip Green Star. These are a very pale yellow and green flower, and they also have a wonderful scent. Bertie's waiting patiently there, so let's get to the kitchen and let's get these in water. This gorgeous cream jug, very old, it was a charity shop find for £3. And then I have this tureen here that's got damage on it, but they're ideal to use as planters or to put flowers in. Now I always give my flowers money and alcohol, seems to work for the girls. In fact, these have been here for 2 weeks, these tulips, straight upright, no flopping going on. If you have any tips on keeping cut flowers going for longer, then please do share them in the comments below. I'm going to be adding my pre-1982 coins to both of these vessels and a shot of vodka as well. There's no fancy styling with the narcissus, I just cut them straight across the bottom into the jug and they're good to go. Now with the Green Star tulips, I am going to do things slightly different. Obviously I'm going to give them money and alcohol, but I'm trimming them down very low and then gently just turning back each of the petals. You really do need to go gently with this, and I find this incredibly therapeutic. I'm wanting this display to go on the coffee table, so I don't want any height, I want it very low. And doing it this way means I get a beautiful arrangement and everybody can see the TV. Now back to the sitting room and let's get on with the styling. In between the two sofas I have this side table, it's one of a pair Picked it up at auction, did a chalk paint effect on it, and they work quite lovely as very low side tables. I'm adding some vintage books here that I picked up at auction. All the covers had been damaged, which was great for me because it meant I could remove them and use that neutral colour in my styling. A faux plant and a couple of coasters just finishes off this area. If you're enjoying this so far, then please do remember to hit that bell so you don't miss any of my videos in the future. Thank you so much. Now it's time to style the coffee table. This was originally a pine table found at auction, and well, you can do this to any table. I just cut the legs down to turn it into a coffee table. Now, as it is quite a large size, I'm going to style it in 3 zones. So a tray at one end, I have a wooden trug that I'm going to use at the other, and then I'm going to style down the middle. Country Homes and Interiors is a magazine that I'm actually featured in. This was the October issue last year, and there's a lovely 12-page spread there on the house. I've also got 2 other magazine features coming out this year, which I'll let you know about in due course. Now, as wonderful as that is, I don't like the cover, so I am covering it with sheet music and a magnifying glass. I'm using some more of the vintage books. This time I've tied them with string, and then I'm going to add a couple of candles to finish off that middle section. I have a video on how to create this stone pot effect. I'm adding a couple of little charity shop finds here and also some faux greenery just to pop it in to make it look like a plant. A candle in a stone pot is going into the tray with a few more of the coasters, and here come the girls flouncing their way in. Don't they look fabulous? This styling can easily run on through spring into summer and just keep switching out the flowers. It's full of all those neutral rustic tones that I love. It's practical, there is space, and it's low so we can all see the TV and see each other to chat. Now I'm going to add a few more extras to the room. I have a basket here that I picked up at auction in a big haul, just adding some faux flowers and some dried gypsophilia. I just picked that up from the supermarket and let it dry naturally. I don't have curtains or window dressing here. The view is beautiful and I don't like anything really to impede it. So I'm just using 4 very simple large candlesticks, and I tend to put them in front of the uprights, if you like. A few candles on the top, and that just finishes the look there. I like to keep this very simple, not to detract from the view outside. Just 2 more things to do. Give the rug a good brush with the dog brush and light the fire. Yes, we're still needing to light fires most days because it's actually really chilly here in England. And that's it for this week. I hope this has given you lots of inspiration. Please do let me know in the comments below. Check out my other spring decorating videos for other tips and tricks. I'll be back here next week and I would really love you to join me. Take care, have a great week. Lots of love.